Hey children, it's Monday. I'm going to show you how to do problem 1 on your homework. So if you take a look at problem 1, our goal today is to find the area and the perimeter of this rectangle using exponent laws. Because if you look at the length and the width of the rectangle, both of those have variables with exponents. So a good place to start is that listing out what we know. So I know that area is really just length times width. If I take a look at this rectangle, I can decide that length is 5x squared, and I can also decide that width is 12x. So knowing that, I would just plug in these two variable terms that I represented here into our normal equation up at the top, and I can write that area is actually equal to 5x squared times 12x. Now this is where our exponent laws come into play, because in this expression here I'm going to be multiplying x squared times x. So I need to remember the product rule, which tells me that when I multiply bases with the same base that have powers, I add the powers and I keep the base. So first off, 5 times 12, 60. X squared times x is going to give me x cubed, because we have to remember that even though we don't see a power here, if there's just an x, it's technically to the power of 1. So I'm done with this part. I know that the area of this rectangle is 60x cubed. So the second part of this problem is I also need to find the perimeter. So I need to remember what the perimeter is. So this should take you back like way back to like 4th grade. Perimeter is the distance around an object. So I'm talking about how long it is around this object. Okay, so if I know this part is 12x, I also know that this part up here is 12x. If I know this part is 5x squared, I also know this side across here is 5x squared. So what I'm doing is, in order to find the distance around, I need to add each of these pieces together. So I essentially have 12x plus 12x plus 5x squared plus 5x squared. So this is what we call combining like terms. I can only combine the terms that are alike, and they are alike if they have the exact same variable to the exact same power. So as you can see here, I have x and x to the power of 1, which means I can combine these two. So what I have here is I have 12 x's and 12 more x's, which means in total I would have 24 x's. And if I look at my other terms, I have x squared and x squared. So here I have 5x squares, and here I have 5 more x squares. So in total I would have 10x squares. And there it is, we found the perimeter. Go ahead, use this to finish problems 2, 3, and 4, and I will see you tomorrow.